The story I tell from a cowl prison cell, put here on the word of a spy. Me stomach churns in disgust, it's unfair and unjust, so I'll reflect with some tears and a sigh. From the day I left school, I worked like a mule and was out in all sorts of weather. For 6 days a week I drove a shovel and pick, any wonder me hands were like leather. I'd be telling no lies, I was a great man to raise. I'd be up before the alarm, out the door at cock crow, in hail, rain or snow, with me biscuit tin under me arm. But in this day and age, it takes more than one wage to keep a man's head above water. So on a Tuesday at 2, I signed on to the brew. Then back to me work I would dotter. For it took the whole lot to keep spuds in the pot and save us from financial disaster. And what a man has to do, a man has to do, and must do's a wonderful master. Well, myself and the missus, we were past hugs and kisses, but we were happy as cats at the cream. I was partial to stout, so I liked to get out and come home on a full head of steam. And if she got to her bingo and whist, that kept her in good twist. She never is much of a fuss. She'd squeeze into her stays, put on an assortment of sprays, and go out and jump onto the bus. But her luck turned for the worse when the wife lost her purse. One day she was shopping in town. She went to the police and she went to the priest, but of course it never was found. And things didn't get any better when there come a brown letter on a day that no gyro was due. Oh, Holy Mother of God, it's from the Banbridge fraud squad. Oh, Christ, I've been catched on the brew. I turned white as a ghost and near choked on me toast as I spluttered and spluttered and sput. Me head was rattling and reeling. I doubt somebody's squealing. You'd think they could keep their mouths shut. Donald Scabby Mackay, he's an old-fashioned boy. I'd say it was him that was talking, sitting up pulling gobs round the bookies and pubs, listening and juking and gawking. Neither him nor the fat wife worked a day in their life, good for nothing, only carrying tales. Him with his big shiny shoes, taking up the priest's dues, and 8 lumps out of the rails. It's a long road that is no torn. I hope he dies roaring, with the devil at the foot of his bed. For as long as he's on the prowl, the soul's to be soul, and Judas will never be dead. They called me into Armagh to meet a Mr. McGrath, who took down me name and details. Then he smiled like a child and he says, I'll just get your file. So I sat there chawing me nails. After a short time elapsed, he come back with some snaps. Says he, isn't that you with the jackhammer? Here you are shoveling stones. Here you're putting out cones. So I started to stutter and stammer. What happens next? What way am I fixed? Does this all mean that I'm barred? Oh yes, your benefits will cease. We'll send these files to the police, which they'll treat with the strictest regard. But I wouldn't hold up much hope, for you're on a short rope. The evidence is conclusive and ample, so to me it's quite clear, Mr. E.G. McAteer, of you they'll make an example. It come the day of the court, so the wife smoothed me short and splunged down me gabardine suit. So I got a wash and a shave, put on a face that looked brave, until the taxi outside it did toot. And as I buttoned me coat, I got a lump in me throat, and I shook as I walked down the path. For to face the boy with the wig, I was dancing no jig, full sure I'd be facing his wrath. My worst fears were installed when the case it was called, and the judge called me a dole dodger. We're paying our taxes for your wife's leg watches. You're a scrounger, a thief, and a codger. Amongst your kind of folk, it's some sort of joke. I believe they call it doing the double. But I don't find it that funny stealing taxpayers' money, so I'll give you 6 months for your trouble. So they took me down to the Han and put me in a van and drove me away to me doom. And then they took off me cuffs, I was stripped to the buff and took to the delousing room. Here me treatment was grim, for I was dusted with vim. And scrubbed down with a yard brush, rinsed with a bar hose, told to put on these clothes, and led up to the cells in a rush. And as I emptied me po, I was feeling quite low, as the lights went out for the night. So I looked out through me bars and up at the stars, and lay back and considered me plight. I'd just have to face I've got 6 months in this place, though I considered me sentence quite harsh. But it's hard to get snug beneath a black hairy rug and the fleas biting lumps from your arse. Well, me cellmate was Jared. He was a boy with a bird who was in for killing his wife. She was always whinging and yapping and snarling and snapping. He was living a miserable life. So on his way out to mass, he turned on the gas. For he knew she was fond of a fag. And as he went in through the gates, she went out through the slits. And of course tongues they started to wag. When he was questioned and grilled, the beans that were spilled, he agreed that he'd twisted the knob. Now that she's dead as a stone, she's moaned her last moan. I think I done a very good job. The judge gave him 25 years, but it fell on deaf ears. No sign of remorse did he show. She made my life not worth living, and my only misgiving is I should have done it a long time ago. As the weeks passed away, I got used to the tay. But to the grub I couldn't succumb, for the bangers and mash took me out in a rash, and the hamburgers tasted like chum. But fair play to Brady, for she came in on me Friday with soda farls and fresh kitty bread. That was the highlight of my week, so I ate till I was near sick and slept content in me bed. But during me time in the clink, me health has started to sink, and me back's just riddled with pains. And as me time draws to a close, I've had me highs and me lows, but I'm gonna start using me brains. I'm fit for no heavy toil, I think it's time to uncoil and hang up me shovel and pick. So I've lined up a nice handy job out in Ballymacnabb, and I'm gonna sign on to the sick.